All right, you guys, this is one of the craziest houses I've ever seen in my entire life. We're gonna go up to it and see what they were able to do to be able to afford this place out here in Atlanta. Let's go see what they have to say.
Please wait while your call is connected.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, question for you, sir. I started a channel in Austin, Texas that I grew to 4 million followers, going all over the country just asking beautiful homeowners a few questions on their best advice to the younger generation, the kids coming out of school. Thought you had a beautiful house, man. Wanted to know if we could ask you just a few quick questions for the channel. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Access granted.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, boss? How you doing?
Good, man. How about yourself? How long you been in Atlanta for?
Been in Atlanta about over almost 14 years.
Yeah? And I guess, what do you do for a living to be able to afford this place?
I'm a serial entrepreneur.
How many businesses do you own?
6 businesses at the moment.
6 businesses. Could we ask you a couple questions for the channel?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second.
Appreciate you. Across all these businesses, what was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
In a single year, the most money I've ever made is $15 million.
$15 million. How can somebody become a millionaire in 2024? The city of Atlanta, Georgia is home to nearly 20,000 millionaires. And today, I'm gonna be going all over the wealthiest parts of Atlanta to ask multimillionaires from 8 to 9-figure entrepreneurs how they became wealthy and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024. So with that being said, let's get this video on the way. All right, you guys, my guy just pulled up in a Lamborghini. We're gonna go up and see what he was able to do. Come on, guys. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Atlanta to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
On a marketing agency.
And how long have you been a business owner for?
Full-time entrepreneur, last 15 years. Marketing, last 8 years.
And over these 15 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Last couple years, a little bit over 10 million each year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I guess, do you come from money?
Yeah, I wish. Dad been in jail since I was 2 for murder. Kicked out of high school, college, fired from 10 jobs. Born and raised ghettos of West Philly. Nah,
Yeah.
not at all.
Now, I go all over the country just asking business owners their best advice to young entrepreneurs. Is it cool if we ask you a few questions for the channel?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm both.
Yeah.
I buy as much information as I can to help me get better, and I sell. You know what I mean? I'm both. Yeah. But I like to be a producer more than a consumer. I think that's the other issue with people is we're more of a consumers than we are producers. We know more about LeBron's stats than we know about our own stats. We know more about what's going on in sports than we know about what's going on. Like in this season, I tell people this is blinder season. Like I don't know, I've been to the Kentucky Derby. Every horse that races, they got something called blinders, one on the left, one on the right, so they can't see what's going on to the left or the right of them. If everybody start focusing on your own race and what's on front and what's in front of you, everything could change in a short period of time.
More than 90% of businesses won't make it past 5 years.
Yeah.
What's the most common mistake you see business owners make that prevents them from scaling and having that longevity?
I would say lack of marketing, right? I tell people all the time, you're extremely good at what you do, but no one knows what you do. If you are the best at this and no one knows, you're going to go out of business. So you need to be spending as much money as you can on marketing and getting yourself out here so everyone know you exist.
Would you say that if you lost it all, you can make it all back?
100%, because I got the mindset now and I got the skill sets.
How old are you now?
36 years old.
36.
Yeah.
If you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, when you were starting from zero, what's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
The best advice I would say is the biggest way to kill a big dream is to introduce it to a small mind. Be very guard who you share your goals and dreams with, because mind you got your mom, you got your dad, you got family, they love you. So they only going to give you advice to not hurt you. That makes you feel good, right? You need to go get advice from people who are already crushing it, people already at high level. You want to become a millionaire, you don't ask someone who's not it. You want to start a business, you don't ask your coworker. Like, how much sense does it make to say, y'all want to go start a business, you go into your job and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business, you think I should do it? The answer will always be no. Why? Because they're at a place where they don't want to commit to a business. They don't want to commit to trying anything new. So the biggest thing I could tell anybody is if you want to become successful, learn from someone who's already there in the industry that they're in that you want to learn about.
You got phenomenal advice, man. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thanks so much.
So we caught my guy getting out of the Lamborghini, heading into Dior, and he went from being broke to creating an 8-figure marketing agency that did over $10 million this past year. And what did he say? The fastest way to kill a big dream is to tell it to a small mind. Great interview from a real legend. He just dropped some phenomenal advice. But with that being said, let's go get this next interview. Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Have you ever what?
Have you ever been broke before?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Atlanta?
Commercial real estate development,
How long have you been in the business for?
25 years.
Now, people think you have to have a lot of money to get started out in real estate. Would you agree with that? Or like what's that first move someone can make without a ton of money in real estate?
Yeah, unfortunately, real estate's expensive.
Yeah?
You do need some money.
What was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
A couple $100 million.
A couple $100 million.
Yeah.
How did you scale from 8 to 9 figures, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, they start a business, they have a great
Sure.
idea, they struggle to scale and grow. What was your secret to scaling?
Look, if you go back and look at all the businesses that are really successful out there, a lot of it has to do with timing.
Have you ever met a billionaire before?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Unfortunately.
What do you notice consistently among billionaires? And not even just billionaires.
They're
but
not as smart as you think.
What do you mean by that?
Everybody thinks because you have $1 billion that makes you smart. What I mean by that is a lot of people get lucky. It's not so much being a billionaire that matters. It's like, do you know the difference between values and beliefs?
What's that?
Beliefs are what you think is true. Values are what you think are important. Understanding your beliefs and then understanding your values. Like, what do you believe in? What do you think is important? Focus on the things that are important.
What is the secret to being able to raise capital, right? In a competitive industry like real estate and entrepreneurship in general, in terms of raising capital, any advice to people out there? Maybe it's for a development, for a project.
What I think will shock most people, not wealthy people or some of the people you just named, is right now there is more money out there in the world looking for a good business plan than the inverse. There are not as many good business plans as what you think. And the people who have capital, they can look at a business plan quickly and tell, just like, watching Shark Tank, right? They know what does and doesn't make sense. They understand margins, they understand cost structures, they understand when somebody doesn't know the details. So raising capital is you got to start with like a really good business plan that has a legitimate pathway to growth. You have to be able to show why this is going to be worth the effort. Why is this money going to come back with a return that makes sense for the person investing it?
How old are you now?
I'm about to turn 56.
56.
Yeah.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
55 and a half.
55
No,
and a half.
I'm kidding. I have no idea because I don't really track that
Right.
stuff. It just isn't that important to me.
Right.
But I'll tell you this much. I've been happy for 40 years, and that's a hell of a lot more important to me.
I love that. What is the secret to finding that happiness, right? That inner peace inside, right? Because like you said,
that's a really good question. I mean, that in itself is, there's another saying that says, like, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, when I went through that transition, I realized I'd fell into that restaurant job and I was very successful at it. And I was like, what did I learn from it? I learned how to manage resources, people, time, money, expectation. And I was really good at it. And then I was like, okay, so I understand how to manage resources. So what is it that I want to do where I can take that skill set and go do that? And what I decided was real estate development. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And I look back on it and it just feel good about it because it was something I really enjoyed and I was doing it with really smart, capable people. But like, you gotta figure out like what makes you happy. And some people it's golfing every day. Some people it's like sitting out on their porch on a piece of property where they don't have to see, hear, or know that anybody else exists for 10 miles away. I mean, it's different for everybody. Focus on that and the rest is good.
Yeah, thank you so much
What's
for your
your
time.
name?
James Dumlin, sir. So we walked up on a 9-figure commercial real estate developer out here in Atlanta, and that interview just goes to show there is endless amounts of capital and money circulating in the entire world. You just have to come up with the right ideas that people are willing to back and get behind, and you can create something amazing. Phenomenal interview, man. Let's go get this next one. All right, you guys, this is one of the craziest houses I've ever seen in my entire life. We're gonna go up to it and see what they were able to do to be able to afford this place out here in Atlanta. Let's go see what they have to say.
Please wait while your call is connected.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, question for you, sir. I started a channel in Austin, Texas that I grew to 4 million followers, going all over the country just asking beautiful homeowners a few questions on their best advice to the younger generation, the kids coming out of school. Thought you had a beautiful house, man. Wanted to know if we could ask you just a few quick questions for the channel. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Access granted.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, boss? How you doing?
Good, man. How about yourself? How long you been in Atlanta for?
Been in Atlanta about a little over almost 14 years.
Yeah? And I guess, what do you do for a living to be able to afford this place?
I'm a serial entrepreneur.
How many businesses do you own?
6 businesses at the moment.
6 businesses. Could we ask you a couple questions for the channel?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second here.
Appreciate you. Across all these businesses, what was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
In a single year, the most money I've ever made is 15 million.
$15 million. Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller, 100%.
Why is that?
Listen, somebody has to consume, somebody has to produce. I always rather be on the end of producing. One thing about it, my mentors told me early on, more people got rich during the gold rush selling shovels than looking for gold.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I made my first million at 29.
29.
Yes.
And have you ever been broke before?
1,000%. 24, I was homeless and broke. And I worked from 24 up until I was about 26, just getting back on my feet, trying to find different ways and building everything out.
For somebody broke right now, for somebody at rock bottom, what is an actionable step that they they can take to get really serious about becoming financially free like yourself?
It'll never come from money. Whenever somebody comes to me and say, hey, I'm flat broke, you don't have a financial issue. It's a personal issue. You have traumas or things like that you're dealing with and healing that you need to deal with to overcome. Because for you to get into a situation where you have no money, you're making bad decisions, you're making bad choices on a daily basis. You have bad habits that you need to correct. What are the things that I have to cut out? And once I can identify those things, I can build on it and become a better person as an individual. And then you look at learning, and then you look at learning skill sets that can contribute to you. If you flat broke on rock bottom, I will pick up and learn how to sell, right? Once I get to a complacent point where I'm okay, because I don't want to be a toxic person, have negative traits on me, and then go try to sell and develop on top of it. You can't put sugar on shit. So you have to get rid of it and go, hey, now I'm okay. I can start to build properly on top of this foundation.
What do you think is more important, mindset or skill set?
The mindset, because the mindset will allow you to pick the proper skill set. Because with a bad mindset, you'll say, oh man, people are great at sales, I'm a sell. Yeah, but you're an introvert. You have the wrong mindset because you're just thinking that, okay, I'm just gonna go do whatever somebody else is doing. I'm gonna go do e-commerce. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go be a online influencer, but you're not attractive. You don't like speaking. You don't like, you don't have a bright personality. You won't be consistent in posts. Your mindset will allow you to identify who you are, what's your strong points, what's your weaknesses. I know my weaknesses and I know my strong points. I strengthen my weaknesses on purpose, but I flourish in my strong points intentionally. And that's one thing that we have to do. So that's where mindset comes in. It's like your mindset will allow you to not make bad decisions thinking that, oh yeah, if I just go learn how to work on cars, I could be a millionaire. And it's like, yo, bro, you got one arm.
Yeah.
It's like a bad mindset. You just think about money, but it's like, yo, you're not physically equipped or capable to do this.
And as an 8-figure entrepreneur, what's been the best financial advice that you've ever received throughout your career?
Spend that shit. Spend it in ways that bring back impact. Money is a tool. Spend it to further your information, to further your network, to get in certain different environments that you're not privy to.
What's the deepest life quote that you've ever heard?
More money, more problems.
Why is that?
Because the things that come with financial success is things that you could never imagine. You see it on movies, you see it on TV, but the things that come with this, the traumas, the experiences, the day-to-day life, everything is great, but it's a lot of things that you cannot predict. That you think becoming financially free is great, but the different things where you have to mentally grow and where you mentally grow through, once you get there, you realize that, okay, it took work to get here, and you look at everybody and you can't help but to judge. That if you only did this, and you know it, if you did this, and third, you wouldn't have those problems. You now have to face that and deal with family problems, friends, and you've changed. You do change. You get to see more. You've experienced a different level of life. And the hardest part is that everything around you changes. Everybody around you changes. And that's something for me that I've struggled with dealing with. It's like, okay, accepting people for who they are, where they are, but realizing they can't accept me for where I'm at.
You got amazing advice, man.
No, I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for your time.
This video was insane to make, you guys. Some of the craziest interviews that we've ever done. But I want you to like and subscribe for amazing content we have coming very, very soon. And click the link in the description below to join the Hard Knocks newsletter right now, because we're sending out weekly updates, insights, and lessons from the world's top entrepreneurs directly to you. So click the link below to join the Hard Knocks newsletter, because you do not want to miss out on this. But guys, that's a wrap on today's video. Be sure to click right here to watch our full video going all over New York City, asking multimillionaires how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024. We'll see you guys in the next video.